We've decided to combine furnaces and air conditioning in the same section because there are very few owner-serviceable parts on them. Safety is always important. With the exception of the few things that I'll show you, only qualified people should work on furnaces. I want to put your mind at ease. The furnaces of today are very safe and have a number of devices built into them that will shut them down if something goes wrong. And that's what we want, right? Some furnaces are manual light and some are automatic. Let's start with the automatics. Depending on the type of thermostat you have, you simply turn it on and set the temperature. If you're having troubles, there are a few things that you can check. If you can't solve the problem, you can at least tell your RV tech what your findings are, and it may help him track down the problem a little more quickly. A non-functioning furnace usually reacts in one of two ways. It does absolutely nothing or it blows cold air. If it does nothing, make sure the thermostat is on and set properly. Something I see quite often on these less complicated thermostats, like this one, people forget to flip the on-off switch. Oh, by the way, make sure it has one. Sometimes they get broken off and are stuck in the off position. If the switch is okay, try moving the temperature lever back and forth a few times. The contacts can get dirty and sometimes this helps. If it still won't work, we need to check the power supply. All furnaces have fuses, likely located in the fuse box. Don't rely on the labels that mark your fuses to find the correct one. Test all of them. I recommend using a test light. Remember I showed you how to use one in the electrical section? First, find a good, clean ground and probe both sides of the fuses as I'm showing here. If you get a light on both sides of all the fuses, chances are the power supply to your furnace is good and the problem lies elsewhere. If you find a bad fuse, replace it and try to restart your furnace. If the fuse blows again, you definitely have a problem and need professional help. There is one exception, the HydroFlame Furnace, the one with the fold-down door on the outside of your coach. It has a circuit breaker that you simply push in to reset like I'm showing you here. This rocker switch is used for the service people to disable the furnace when they work on it. If you hear your furnace running and it's blowing cold air, check your propane tanks. Make sure the valves are open and light all the burners on your stove just to make certain your LP system is working properly. From there, go to your thermostat and shut it off. Wait about 10 seconds and then turn it on again. Sometimes the little brain box inside the furnace becomes confused and this resets it. If this works, but you have to keep doing it to get heat, or if none of these procedures get your furnace up and running, unfortunately, you need to call a service tech. Moving on, here's a couple of do's and don'ts concerning forced air furnaces. Do have at least 3 furnace vents open all the time. I've seen people close off or cover up vents with rugs to try to divert heat to a particular section of their coach. This can overheat or damage your furnace. Don't set or lean anything near the furnace exhaust. Lawn chairs burn real good. Also, when backing into a campsite, make certain that the trees aren't up against the exhaust system. Now we'll move on to manual light furnaces. All manual light appliances have basically the same lighting procedure. First, make certain that the propane is turned on. I like to light the stove first to make sure there's no air in the lines and the propane system is okay. Next, go to your control panel and turn the knob to pilot. Having your lighter lit and ready, push the knob in and light the pilot light. Once lit, hold your finger on the knob for about 30 seconds and then release. If the pilot light stays lit, turn the knob to the on position and set your temperature. If the pilot light goes out, repeat the procedure. If you cannot get the pilot to stay lit after several tries, you have a problem and you need a service tech. Now let's check out air conditioning. There are even fewer owner-serviceable parts on air conditioners. They run off AC power only, so you must be plugged in or be powered by your generator, and they have either manual controls or automatics. Most air conditioners have a thermostat on them. If we run only the fan on any speed, we circulate the air in the coach and the thermostat does nothing. But when we select cooling, the thermostat controls the temperature by turning on and off the compressor. The 4 most common problems I see with air conditioners are a blown circuit breaker, usually an easy fix, no hum, telling me that there is likely a control or a compressor problem, a hum and no cooling, telling me there is probably trouble in the air conditioner itself, or improper usage. I've seen people go golfing for the day, and come back and their unit is 120 degrees inside, and they expect the air conditioner to give them immediate relief. This is not realistic. If you're in a hot area and need cooling, start early in the day. Set the thermostat to some reasonable setting and allow the unit to maintain your coach. By reasonable, I mean don't expect to have one air conditioner maintain 65 degrees when it's 110 degrees outside. That would be hard to do, not to mention unhealthy for you. I personally like to use about a 10 to 15 degree difference between inside and out. Let's talk about manual controls. You might have 3 different fan speeds, and remember, on fan there's no cooling. The thermostat is not doing anything. When you select cooling, the thermostat will try to maintain the temperature you select. Remember, be reasonable. Oh, by the way, if you are on cooling and switch off, and then go right back to cooling and blow the circuit breaker, that's quite likely normal. You must always give the compressor time to bleed down the pressure before starting again, usually about 2 or 3 minutes. It takes a lot of power to start that compressor. Now, we can get heat from our air conditioners 2 ways. One is like this one, a heat strip. All it is a heating element inside the cowling. It looks a lot like a toaster element. Don't expect much from these. They're a great way to maintain heat in the coach, but on real cold days, you'll still have to use your furnace. Automatic air conditioners are the same as manual, except they work off wall thermostats. As you can see, the thermostats may look different, but their operations are quite similar. They control the furnace and the air conditioners. Well, that's about it for furnaces and air conditioning. As usual, if you have the manuals on any of these appliances, it's a good idea to sit down and read them.